Beginning this evening, we're going to lie down on our mat. I have mine covered with a blanket because I want to have a surface that doesn't offer as much friction as the sticky mat. We're going to just start in Shavasana. All will become clear as we progress. And have a strap nearby and a couple blocks nearby. And then really just let yourself come to the ground. Feel the body soften. You might take a really deep inhale and then sigh it out the mouth and let it go. That could mean making a big noise. Let's do that again, inhaling to fill up. And exhale, sigh it out. Once more, fill up. And this time our goal is to really to release as much as we can with the exhale. So hold the breath in at the top and let it swirl around. Take a little sip of extra air in, actually. And then exhale, sigh it out, let it go. Drop down. Feel yourself really empty here. And then let your next inhale be soft, really sinking into rest. Last week we talked about Ram and Lakshman entering the monkey kingdom and making friends with Sugrīva, the king of the monkeys. And Sugrīva tells Rama a story of his own trials and tribulations that mirror a lot of the things in Ram's story. Sugrīva also has a wife who's been abducted. Sugrīva also has been ousted from his kingdom. They both have older brothers who are ruling, or they have brothers rather, that are ruling their kingdoms. One, Bharat, Ram's brother, who is righteous, seemingly. And on the other hand, Sugriva's brother, Balim, seems to be less righteous. He exiled his brother and seems to be hunting him through the forest. So, there are points of departure, but overall, their stories do have a mirror quality. And as friends, Ram is now obligated to first help Sugriva with his problem to reclaim his kingdom from his unrighteous brother, to return his wife, before Sugriva and his monkey army can be fully rallied behind Ram to reclaim Sita from Ravan's grip. So much of the opening of this book of the Rāmāyana is about sort of the negotiation of this relationship between friends rather than the relationship between family or the relationship between teacher and student. We're really talking about this relationship of friendship and the terms of friendship. So thinking today in our movement, like, how do we relate with the earth? How do we make friends with the earth? How do we make friends with like our ourselves? So much of our mental state is um, sort of like for a lot of us like this ongoing monologue commentary on our actions, ourselves. So trying to make that a friendly voice in our head rather than a judgmental voice. Or just coming into a deeper recognition of the relational aspect of your own thinking. Turn your toes up to the sky now. So coming a little out of the rest, but try to let that be the only thing that changes. And notice that relationship of the toes turning up towards the sky. And then bend your right knee, bringing the sole of the foot down to the earth. Just let that relation kind of establish itself. See if you can just change one thing without the whole relaxation of the body being thrown out of whack. The breath stays deep, full. On an exhale, let your knee fall open to the side. So it's like a tree pose. We're just lying down. Left toes are still pointed up towards the sky. It doesn't have to be like a very forceful effort, but just a little effort there to hold some structure. Take one more in breath here. And then as you exhale, you're letting the heel slide down the inseam of the leg. And when you get to the bottom, the right toes turn back up to the sky. And so those are all the steps of the whole movement. Now let's string them together and we'll flow a little bit. Inhale, the heel drags up, the knee comes up to the sky. Exhale, the knee opens wide to the side and slides down the leg. Keep the breath really long, as long as you can manage. Inhale, the knee comes up to the sky, the heel slides along the ground. Exhale, opening the knee to the side. The outer sole of outer seam of the foot floats down, the leg straightens. Inhale, rounding up. Exhale, opening it up. And just flow with your breath. And here we're getting into our hips, starting to open our hips. We're using the ground again as a relation, a boundary. So we're learning about like what the hip does in reaction to the earth. Sometimes it's hard to get a sense of what's going on in our hips and our shoulders if we have like this full range of motion available to us, and we can actually learn a lot from putting a little boundary onto the movement. A couple more rounds in this direction. The next time your leg comes straight, pause, exhale here. We're reversing that now. So on your inhale, the knee comes out to the side as the foot slides up, the inseam of the leg. On the exhale, the knee comes up to the sky, the heel pushes down and away, straightening the leg. Inhale, the tree, knee to the sky. Exhale, leg straightens. Inhale, bringing it up. Exhale, bringing it down. Keep on moving. Next time your leg comes long, let yourself be there, relax. The toes turn up to the sky again. And we're going to do the same thing on the second side. So start by bending your left knee, planting the left sole of the foot on the ground, knowing that that transition is going to be your in breath to start with. And then your exhale, let your knee fall open to the side. And just find this supine tree posture to begin with. It's a little bit of an adjustment. You'll learn a lot about your hips just from doing that. I know I just did. Relax. Let the earth support you. Inhaling. Exhale. When you're ready, the sole of the foot slides down, the leg straightens. Inhale, bending the knee, pulling it up through center. Exhale, opening the knee to the side and letting it slide down. Swirling the leg with the breath. So yeah, just having a blanket on the mat gives you a little bit more freedom of movement with the heel instead of getting stuck on the sticky. You can glide more freely. Getting into the groove of the movement for a couple more breaths in this circular direction. Yeah, let the knee fall open to the side and slide down. And then we're reversing the direction. So inhale, the knee comes out to the side. You're coming to that tree pose. And then your exhale lets the leg come up towards the sky and slide out, down straight. Inhale, pulling up into tree. Exhale, sliding it down, straight, round and round. Exploring this boundary. So when Sugrīva asks Ram to help him with his problem with his brother, Ram says, "Yeah, no problem. I'll shoot him. We'll resolve this. You just have to go and we're gonna, you have to challenge him to the battle. That's the righteous way to approach this confrontation. And then after you engage him in battle, I will step in with my divine bow and be the decider, his fate. Be the warrior. Be your friend." He doesn't ask a lot of questions about Sugriva's story. He just accepts that as part of the deal, the friendship agreement. I help you, you help me. Next time your leg comes long, let it stay long and relax, Shavasana. Keeping the legs how they are. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead and bend your elbows, grab for opposite elbows, and then switch your grip. So whatever your non-habitual grip is comes on top to begin with. And just hang out here, kind of notice how the shoulders feel, do any adjustments, micro adjustments that you need to. Make space in your neck. And if holding onto your elbow tips is too much, you can grab for wrist, you can hook fingers, you can even take a strap and use that overhead, but just getting a nice sense of opening through the armpits. It's all going to be dependent on what your degree of shoulder openness is. So you just are where you are. Don't attach any value to it. And then when you're ready, take an inhale. And exhale, start to move your elbows down and around the chest, exhaling down, and then inhale up and over. It doesn't really matter which direction you go in first. Exhale down and around in front of you. Inhale over to the side and up. Flowing with the breath. You can close your eyes, or you could see what it's like to let your gaze follow the movement down and around and up, down and around and up. The floor is still giving us this nice response, this boundary, establishing a relationship, and for me, really revealing a lot of little knots to gently work through. Stay with the breath. How it feels to keep going. So much of this practice is the practice of establishing patience and stability through the breath, building ourselves a nice foundation so that we can really notice where we encounter boundaries, and whether in our day-to-day life, in our relationships, and noticing where we come into those boundaries, where we have control and where we don't have control. And just kind of making peace with that through acknowledgement. Let your arms come up overhead, release the grip, relax, take a deep breath in, exhale, sigh it out. Being patient with ourselves as much as we ask ourselves to be patient with others. When you're ready, recrossing the elbows, and now let yourself come into that habitual grip. And now that we have the habitual grip and you're settling in here, we're going to take the non-habitual direction of movement. So for me, that's going to be going counterclockwise, but just do whatever the opposite is to what you just did. So take an inhale And then begin on the exhale, coming down and around in the opposite direction, up and over, down and around, up and over. Gaze can follow the elbows or the eyes stay shut. Whatever is going to allow you to cultivate a deeper attention to this moment, allow you to find deeper patience with yourself and these boundaries and these relationships in this moment, around and around. Open mouth exhale is always welcome. There's no point in bottling anything up when we're in a space that allows us to really let go. Every breath can be an exhale. So Sugrīva is like, okay, let's go. And they just like set out, and it's like no time at all. They're at Sugrīva's brother Balin's doorstep, and the monkeys live in a city is in a cave. It's kind of cool. So there's like this literal cave that you kind of have to go to enter into the monkey kingdom, hidden deep in this forest where Sugrīva lives with his sort of band of followers. He knocks on the door and he bellows into the cave, and he beckons his brother to come out and fight. And Ram and Lakshman watch. A couple more times around. And when the arms come up overhead, exhale, let them release. Let your arms come out to a T and just find like the widest wingspan you can manage and relax into that. Lightly energize through your fingers. Feel the muscles of the arms engage, the shoulder blades pull in and down. So you're just engaging with this relationship. Turn your toes up towards the sky. Notice how that changes your relationship in the lower back with the earth. So it just feels really stable. Your whole body is engaged. You're pressing against the earth with the back of the body. You're breathing. Fully present here. One more inhale. Exhale, relax all the muscles. Okay, and then bend your knees, bring the soles of the feet to the earth. Find your strap wherever it may be. Unwind it. And today we're going to use a strap for opening up our hamstrings. So take your right knee into your chest, take the strap and loop it around your right heel. And then stretch your heel up towards the sky. Hands are on either end of the strap, and let yourself slide the hands down the strap until the shoulders are heavy against the earth. So really all of the action here is in the back of the leg. The strap is just like a gentle boundary against the heel. So the weight of the arms pulls the leg bone down into the socket. Extend the heel, press it into that boundary of the strap. So you might feel your thigh muscles start to tremble. That's fine. You can tremble a little bit. Just micro bend your knee to protect the back of the knee. So you really get the quaking and shaking into the back of the thigh. And breathe through it. Everything else is relaxed. Just the back of the thigh, back of the leg that's really feeling the effort here. Face is relaxed. Sigh out the mouth if it will help. So deceptive. It seems like it should be so easy, but the actual experience of this is really intense. Or at least it can be. Just one more breath here. And then on your exhale, you can release the strap from that heel, let it come back down to the ground. It might feel nice to let the knee fall open to the side in a half butterfly. Eventually, we're bringing the right knee up to the sky again. We're going to do the same thing on the left side. So when you're ready, the left knee bends in, put the strap around the heel. So it's like on the heel, and you push the strap away as you straighten the leg, the hands slide down, and your arms are weight. They're not efforting. The shoulders are heavy. The heel presses up to the sky. The boundary of the strap and the heel is where your attention goes. And interesting, putting your attention somewhere, your intention somewhere, your effort in one direction, and you really feel the difference between kind of just that like generalized focus. So notice how our intention, attention matters. And seeing how you can relax around that relationship. Keep breathing. Relax. Sugrīva and his brother Balin presently engage in their combat, and Rāma and Lakshman watch. And the two monkey brothers look so much alike that Ram, though he has his weapon ready, can tell the brothers apart, and he does not ever find that decisive moment where he can make the right choice, the right action, where he can place his intention accurately and fulfill his promise to his friend. He doesn't know who is who. One more breath in. And exhale, release the strap, let the leg come down. Maybe the knee opens to the side. One thing that's nice about opening into this half butterfly, or just kind of opening the inseam of the legs or the inseam of the arms even too up to the sky, is that it's like a very vulnerable line. We don't often let it be fully open and tender. Also, like the front of our body, so much of our physicality, our evolution is about protecting the front of the body. So letting it just be open here is nice. A nice counteraction to not only evolution, I guess, but also just our everyday actions of driving, hunching over, so much internal work, physically chopping things, picking up children, picking up anything. There are very few actions that involve opening up, externally rotating. Let the knee come back up towards the center. And now we're going to find, we'll start with one block. Picking one block on its lowest setting and sliding it underneath your sacrum. Just continuing this opening through the front of the body. So let the sacrum rest. So you should feel supported generally. Like if you have the block too far down on your tail, then you're going to feel like the lower back isn't supported. But if you have your block too far up on the lower back, you're going to feel like your hips aren't supported. We're finding this relationship that exists in a happy medium. And then just feeling the stability here in our bridge pose, our supported bridge pose. Both knees point up to the sky, feet are about hips with distance apart. Heels, if you reach your fingers down alongside the hip, you should bring your heels in so that you can just barely touch them. And then scoot them a millimeter away. Hands are down alongside the hips, shoulders relax. Lower belly relaxes. Take a deep breath, fill the pot of the lower belly. And exhale, let it soften. Feel the heels get heavy. Feel things coming into a natural alignment. You might walk your feet just slightly wider to get there. Your hips are tight. And then we're going to slide the right heel away from you down the mat. Toes point up towards the sky. Slide it away and find like the maximum length of the back of the leg. And notice how that creates the maximum length down through the front of the body. And then relax the foot. So the front of your right leg is really long. And in fact, it's really from like the bottom ribs. You can feel this extension all the way down the front of the body. Relaxing. And direct the breath, bring it up the inseam of the leg. Feel it cool, and then as you exhale, you can just spread it out a little bit, release a little bit. So just feel like you're irrigating that whole right side of the body. The breath lifts up from the roots, and then it splits off into the branches of like the lungs and down into the arm, into the shoulder, up into the right side of the face, into the right side of the brain. You're just pouring it down, pouring it down. Last two breaths, use them to relax completely here. When you're ready, you're slowly sliding that knee back up towards the sky, coming back to your supported bridge. You might press down into the feet and just lift the hips slightly and set them back down to recenter yourself more than anything. Deep breath in, sigh it out, and then second side. Left heel slides out. Find your maximum length through the heel pressing away. Feel the front of the body open. Feel the internal rotation of the thigh and then relax the foot around this length. Relax into the left side of the body and breathe. No matter how hard Ram pays attention, he cannot distinguish those two brothers, Sugrīva and his brother Bali. Cannot determine who the one whose death would be righteous is. And so Sugrīva is forced to depart the fight. He's like, if I fight any longer, I'm not gonna make it through this. He runs back to his encampment in the forest, where he finds Ram and Lakshman meeting him, and he's angry at them because he says, Ram, why didn't you help me? You said you were going to help me, and then you left me out there to get totally demolished. And Ram has to explain his position. And in order to do that successfully, I think that Ram has to be so intentional and pay so much attention to this relation that he's in with Sugrīva. He has to acknowledge his role. He has to really explain every aspect of the event that just occurred, his perspective of it. He has to be completely transparent, completely honest. Completely receptive in order to be successful. It's just as hard as, knocking the arrow to the string, drawing the bowstring and letting it loose to hit its target. Last few breaths, really let yourself irrigate the whole left side of the body. With the breath. And then sliding slowly the knee back up to the sky, finding your bridge again, your supported bridge, press down into the feet, lift the hips up just enough, center yourself back down. And from here, we're going to a legs up in the air position, a supported shoulder stand. So if you're happy with just the one block underneath you, that's great. If you want it to be a little bit higher, you can turn the block up on its medium setting. If you like to have the two blocks on their lowest setting stacked, that's also an option. I'm just going to start by flipping the one block up a little bit for my own personal taste. And then both legs lift, and you're looking to find that perfect relationship of balance, that equilibrium, where the legs can feel weightless, but the body, the sacrum, still feels supportive. The shoulders are grounded. The back of the neck is nice and free. There's no tension in the neck. There's no tension in the face. There's no tension at all. That feeling of just being perfectly in line, perfectly aligned. Harmony of the relationship achieved. We can stay here. Not only the body, but can you also hold the mind here? You can always close your eyes. To be here, just really sink into this trust, supported perfectly. We can turn ourselves completely upside down, and that's what this is. It is an inversion. Like we're threading this needle, taking perfect aim. And Rama's successful. He explains himself perfectly. He maintains his friendship with Sugrīva and try again. One more inhale here. And exhale, let the toes come down together in harmony. Feet land, planting on the earth, heels ground. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Engage through the feet. Inhale, lift the hips. Remove any props from underneath you and then exhale, roll yourself down. Soles of the feet come together, knees fall open to the sides. Supta Baddha Konasana. If you want support for your knees here, I'm going to go ahead and find that because it just sounds lovely. I'm taking both of my blocks and putting them underneath my knees so that it's like, again, this perfect harmony. It's effortless. There's no unnecessary tension. There's only this nice opening. And if you don't feel like this is ever going to be a nice opening for you, that's totally fine. You can take any other posture. You could do twists. You could take fallen bridge, which is sort of the reverse of this posture, where the feet walk out to the edges of the mat and the knees knock in towards each other for internal rotation versus external rotation. Just releasing completely again into harmony. We'll be here for a few minutes. In fact, if you're joining me on YouTube, we'll leave you here as long as you like. Namaste, online friends.